Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot talk about it. The schemes by the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to impeach or to eliminate President Uhuru Kenyatta after the 2017 general election. President Uhuru Kenyatta is quoted to have told the Kikuyu elders about the dark schemes by the Deputy President. And yesterday, Dr. William Ruto denied the accusation by the President. And in fact, he told the President that he deserves nothing than shame. So I want us to ask ourselves 4 questions. The first question, which we are going to explain in details, is who was going to benefit in case Uhuru Kenyatta was impeached? Was that person going to be Raila Odinga or William Ruto or someone else? I want to read your comments on that before we answer it. The second question, which I want us to ask ourselves, is why would William Ruto want to impeach President Uhuru Kenyatta, a person he worked tirelessly to put in power? Why would he want to impeach him or eliminate him? So that's the second question we are going to look at. The third question we are going to look at was whether there was any chance of success if this impeachment motion were to be brought before the House. And the last question is how the Deputy President schemed. And in this last question, I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how William Ruto actually planned and why he planned this impeachment motion. Before we get into all those details, if you're watching this channel for the first time, please, I want you to take a second or two and click that subscribe button. Because what we do on this channel is simple. We analyze politics in a way you can't find any other place. So the best thing you can do is to click that subscribe button now, so that next time you produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And again, it has also come to my attention that majority of you guys normally get the notification, but without forgetting, it has also come to my attention that most of you guys normally receive the notification, but you are not yet subscribed. So the best thing is please subscribe right now. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. My stay in Mombasa is fantastic. And I don't know whether I should leave tomorrow or I should extend, but I think I'm not going to extend. It's been a good break for me, just a change of environment. I needed it a bit. Yeah, you just don't know what I've been doing away from this camera, but it's been fantastic. Now, let us get back to the main issue. And by the way, if you're subscribed and if you're watching this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's the best way you can support the channel. Just click that thumbs up. You can also share this video and drop your comments. Now, let us begin the video. Let us begin with question number 1. Who was going to benefit in case Uhuru Kenyatta was impeached? That's a very direct question. The Deputy President, while in Kilifi yesterday, indicated that the person who was going to benefit was Raila Odinga. That Raila Odinga saw himself as the people's president, and therefore he was going to benefit in case this impeachment motion was successful. The truth of the matter is that the person who was going to benefit if this impeachment motion were to pass was none other than William Samoei Ruto. Why? Constitutionally, if a president is impeached, constitutionally the person who takes over is the Deputy President. So in this case, William Ruto was automatically going to serve the remainder of the term of the president. And then after that, the Deputy President was going to contest again and again 2 more terms. So in case this motion was to succeed, the person who was going to benefit was none other than the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And therefore, I strongly believe that Uhuru Kenyatta might not be lying. And the second question, and of course, let me elaborate a bit, why Raila Odinga was not going to benefit. If this motion were to pass, William Ruto was going to be installed as the next president of the Republic of Kenya. Then two things were going to happen. Number one, Raila Odinga was going to wait much longer to become the president, because assuming he was impeached in 2018, so Ruto was going to serve the remainder of the term. Then he was going to contest afresh in 2022, and with the state powers, Ruto was going to win, and again in 2027 he was also going to win. So which means Raila Odinga's hopes of getting power was going to be extended by 10 more years, which was not going to be tenable. So number two, Raila Odinga and the hatred between the Odinga family, or let me put it, the Luos and the Kikuyus were going to be extended. So I don't think Raila Odinga would have wanted a situation where at his age, he was going to be blamed for extending the hatred which existed or which was caused by the father and President Uhuru Kenyatta's father. So the person who was going to benefit, in my view, was none other than the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. The second question is, why would Ruto want to impeach Uhuru Kenyatta? This is a man he campaigned for. You can take every other thing from William Ruto. But one thing you can't take from him is his contribution to President Uhuru Kenyatta's presidency. In 2013 and in 2017, he did everything. But why would he even dream of impeaching President Uhuru Kenyatta? In my view, that dream can come to the DP because of four reasons. The first reason is the deputy president's jink in this country. You know, someone was asking me yesterday that, Lee, do you know any deputy governor in the entire country? We have 47 deputy governors. Any of them who is likely to become the next governor in their countries? So I told him, I don't know. Then from there, he told me that that's why William Ruto cannot become the president. Because historically, the deputies in this country don't normally succeed their bosses. The only person who succeeded was President Moi, the former president. But why Moi succeeded? Because Mzee Kenyatta died. Just like the Nyeri deputy governor succeeded in becoming the governor because the Nyeri governor actually passed on. So that jink is so strong in this country that it makes it very difficult for the deputy president to succeed. And I am certain that in his circles or advisors, they might have discussed, and I'm looking at the possibility that he was told that the best thing you can do is impeach this guy, then you automatically become the next president of the Republic of Kenya. Number two, I also strongly believe that William Ruto feared betrayal. According to sources, by 2015, there was a serious fallout between Uhuru and Ruto. There were signs of betrayal. This has been corroborated by several people, including Kipchumba Murkomen, including Eden Duale, including, for those who follow politics very closely, David Murathe. In fact, before the last election, David Murathe was very clear that in his second term, Uhuru Kenyatta was going to be more ruthless. So there were signs that these guys were not in good terms, and the deputy president and his camp had actually sensed betrayal. It means they believed that there was no way Uhuru was going to hand over power to the deputy president. So probably that could have led, I'm not saying it led, but it could have led to these schemes. Number three is the temptation of numbers. The temptations of numbers could have confused the deputy president. Why do I say this? Uhuru Kenyatta explained to those people that during 2017 election, he was told that as the president, you focus on running the government and leave me to run the party. So William Ruto saw an opportunity and started scheming on how to become the president and also how to impeach Uhuru Kenyatta. So after the election, the deputy president sat down and took a pen and a paper. He calculated the number of members of parliament who were supporting him. And indeed, the deputy president told the Kenyans that they have the numbers. They used to brag about these numbers. Why were they bragging about these numbers? The deputy president was bragging about these numbers because he believed that with these numbers, he only needed the support of Raila Odinga. If, for example, William Ruto had convinced Raila Odinga, because according to Uhuru, he approached Raila, then Raila, they got the intelligence, then Raila also was a bit hesitant, they got the intelligence, then that's when they reached out to Raila. So if Ruto had managed to rally Raila Odinga to support this scheme, remember 2018, how the country was charged. I'm sure the ODM brigades, because even those at the coast, at Western, who joined the Jubilee, were supportive of the DP. These guys would have easily impeached President Uhuru Kenyatta. I saw Aisha Jomwa, even William Ruto, claiming that there was no way they could have planned to impeach Uhuru Kenyatta because he worked hard to put Uhuru Kenyatta in power. Let me put it the way he put it, that how can I impeach a president I put in power? If you look at the history of impeachments in this world, especially in Africa, and even the political eliminations in Africa, they've always been engineered by people who were once very close friends. You just need to look at Burkina Faso. You need to look at the history of political eliminations in this world. Then you'll understand that people who were once close friends, people who once trusted each other like brothers and sisters, like comrades, actually engineered the impeachment, removal, or even elimination of people who were once their confidants. So the temptation of numbers. And number three, why the DP would have wanted to impeach Uhuru Kenyatta was to trick Raila Odinga and blame Raila Odinga for everything. You see, according to President Uhuru Kenyatta, during the resist, William Ruto was encouraging President Uhuru Kenyatta to arrest Raila Odinga. And on this other side, he was also encouraging NASA supporters to continue with the demonstrations. And if you ask me, I agree with the president. That's something I strongly believe the DP did. Why would the deputy president call the people of Migori, for example, that a militia from a section of the republic? Basically, he just wanted to annoy NASA supporters. If you look at the statement the deputy president was making or were making at that particular time, they were intended to incite NASA supporters more. I never heard the deputy president even calling for peace during that time. I never. So the truth of the matter is that he wanted to trick Raila Odinga into the impeachment. Then Raila Odinga either was going to be part of it. If it failed, then he was going to blame Raila Odinga for this. And therefore, he was going to continue with his schemes of leading the country. So the third question which I want to ask you, and probably I also need the answer to this before we proceed, was there a chance of success if this impeachment motion were to see the day of light? The light of the day, sorry. If this impeachment motion were to see the light of the day at the National Assembly. In my view, there was a chance of succeeding. There was a chance, high chances of this impeachment motion going through. Ruto just needed to rally his brigades and then persuade Raila Odinga. Because I know Kalonzo was not going to be part of it. Mudavadi was not going to be part of it. But Raila Odinga would have managed to convince a few of those, their supporters, their elected MPs. If he had managed to do that, this thing was going to pass. It was going to pass. And Uhuru would have been home as we speak. Who would have been the president? William Samoei Arap Ruto. And probably Ruto by now would have managed to also destroy Raila Amolo Odinga. And probably that was his scheme. So there was a chance that this motion was going to pass. And the last question is, how was this scheme plotted to succeed? Now, let us go to what Uhuru was telling us. Uhuru is saying that the first strategy of the DP was simple. Take charge of Jubilee Party. So William Ruto convinced Uhuru Kenyatta that you are the president. I want you to focus on running the affairs of the country. Let me run the affairs of the Jubilee Party. Let me you as a president run the affairs of the nation. Let me run the affairs of the party. You should not be disturbed. So William Ruto took charge. And unknown to the president, William Ruto started taking charge of Jubilee Party primaries. So he took charge. So when the primaries were over, all people who were perceived to be President Uhuru Kenyatta's allies were kicked out. All of them. You can name Kabogo, Kabando wa Kabando. You can talk of Martha Karua in Kirinyaga. You can talk of Preskila Nyokabi. You can talk of all of them. Even people like Kidero, who are in ODM but had a soft spot for President Uhuru Kenyatta. All of them were kicked out. Then the deputy president installed his people. He identified young people who needed money. Either in ODM, brought them on board. But in Jubilee, those who could win through ODM, he ensured they went to ODM and won. People like Osoro and the rest, yeah. Although there were attempts to deny them tickets, but they were already entrenched in ODM party. He so installed his members of parliament, both at the National Assembly and at the Senate, and some as governors. That's why we had Sonko in Nairobi, and Sonko was removed. That's why we had Waitito in Kiambu, and Waitito was actually removed by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Sonko and Waitito were removed by President Uhuru Kenyatta because of these schemes. Then after that, he tried to do another thing, create further division between the president and NASA. So he was encouraging NASA to demonstrate. Then he was inciting Uhuru Kenyatta to deal ruthlessly with the opposition. And then he was also telling Uhuru Kenyatta, please arrest Raila Odinga. So by telling Uhuru to arrest Raila Odinga, what do you think? How do you think NASA supporters were? Why? How do you think? You know, arresting Raila Odinga would have led this country into, I don't know. Because NASA supporters strongly believe they won the presidency. Uhuru Kenyatta, in his own wisdom, also knew that these guys won the presidency. But they were never given the opportunity. He was inciting Uhuru Kenyatta, go and deal with this guy. NASA supporters were not willing. In fact, if you remember, there was that day we were, I think Raila Odinga had come from abroad, and from JKIA we were there, you know. Then when we were entering Uhuru Park, you know, Raila Odinga's motorcade, especially the vehicle with Raila Odinga, was targeted almost 3 times by live bullets. Almost. I remember one day when this guy who used to put on the orange machungwas on his neck was run over by a speeding vehicle. The vehicle just came, just targeted the guy, hit the guy, it went. Up to today, you know, those were meant to provoke Raila Odinga. Then once those happened, then Raila Odinga was going to be blamed. While in real sense, the deputy president was also talking to Raila Odinga, talking to Uhuru. He was preparing his troops in the hope that Raila Odinga was going to play balls. But Raila Odinga never played balls. And that's how President Uhuru Kenyatta then reached out to Raila Odinga, and the schemes flopped, and we had the handshake. So now you can understand why the handshake took place. The question is this impeachment story enough for President Uhuru Kenyatta to persuade the people of the larger Mount Kenya region to vote for him? Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.